The hour of convening having arrived, all members of the House will please report to the floor and take your seats. All members of the Georgia House of Representatives will report to the floor and take seats. Mr. Clerk, would you ring the bell? All members will report to the floor and take your seats. We are going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. Halfway through the session, Legislative Day 20 has arrived. And we will begin the day today with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 136th House District, Representative Carolyn Hughley. Representative Hughley.
Good morning. To Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House, I'm pleased to introduce our chaplain of the day. Our chaplain hails from Columbus, Georgia. He is the son of the late Reverend Dr. J.H. Flakes Jr. and Mrs. Robina Flakes. He's married to the lovely Jacqueline Denise Flakes, and she's not with us this morning because she's an educator and she's busy taking care of the children. They are parents of two children, Briar and Kevin. Reverend Flakes grew up in Columbus, Georgia, and he attended the schools there. He's a graduate of Tuskegee University for his Bachelor of Science degree. He has a Master of Divinity degree from the Interdenominational Theological Center of Morehouse School of Religion. He has a master's degree from the University of Iowa, and he also has his Doctor of Ministry from Mercer University, McAfee School of Theology. Pastor Flakes was a football player in his youth, and in 2011, he was inducted into the Tuskegee University Athletic Hall of Fame. He has a lot of other accolades, but there are some gentlemen in the House that can appreciate the fact that he's a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. He is very involved in our community, and he does a number of things, and I'll just mention a couple of them for you. He serves as the first vice president of the Congress of Christian Education for the state of Georgia. He's the moderator of the Mount Calvary Association, and he's the convener of a group called A Call to Talk, where he brings in people from throughout the community to reason together, to discuss problems in the community and come up with workable solutions. He serves as a faculty member of the Sunday School Publishing Board for the National Baptist Convention USA Incorporated. He is the pastor of the 4th Street Missionary Baptist Church in Columbus, where his father, the late Reverend Dr. J.H. Frakes Jr., was the pastor for some 50 years. Reverend Dr. J.H. Frakes III is a sound teacher. He's a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. He's a servant of God, and I'm so very pleased to call him my friend. Please welcome our chaplain of the day, Reverend Dr. J.H. Frakes III.
Good morning to Speaker Ralston, to the distinguished members of this House, and I want to say thank you to Representative Hughley for the kind introduction, and I want to thank her for the invitation as well, and for you accepting and allowing me to come to stand before you this morning. The inspiration for today: people the world over spent an estimate $98.2 billion on chocolate in 2016. The number is staggering, isn't it? Yet at the same time, not all the numbers really was surprising. Chocolate, after all, tastes delicious, and we enjoy consuming it. So the world rejoiced collectively when the sweet treat was found to have significant health benefits as well. It is promoted that chocolate contains flavonoids that help safeguard the body against aging and heart disease. Never has a prescription for health been so well received or obeyed, in moderation, of course. Solomon suggested there's another sweet worthy of your investment: wisdom. He, in Proverbs 24, verse 13, recommended his son to eat honey, for he said it is good. And he also compared its sweetness to wisdom. The person who feeds on God's wisdom in Scripture find it not only sweet to the soul, but beneficial for training and teaching, equipping you for every good work you will need to accomplish in life, to face the challenges, to face the difficulties, the hard times, day to day, and even in this session. Wisdom is what allows you to make smart choices as representatives and understand the world around you. And it's worth investing in and sharing with those you love, as well as respect, as Solomon wished to do for his son. We feel good about feasting on God's wisdom in the Bible. It's a sweet treat that we can enjoy without limit. In fact, we're encouraged to do so. And I just come today, I come this morning to encourage you to take a moment and thank God for the sweetness of his scriptures. Wisdom. Let us pray. Eternal God, we give your thanks and give you thanks for giving us another day. We come thanking you once again that we, your children, can come before you and ask guidance for the men and the women of this House of Representatives. We welcome your presence. We welcome your provision of peace. We welcome your protection. And we welcome your wisdom in this place during this session. May these devoted and dedicated public servants' ears and hearts be open to listen to the hopes and the needs to those whom they represent. Please keep all who work in this house and in this capital in good health, that they might faithfully and fulfill the great responsibility given them in their service to the work of our great state. Bless them this day. Bless them every day. And may all that is done be for your greater honor, for your glory, and for your praise. In the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus the Christ. Amen. Please join with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Chair recognizes Chairman Hogan, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Mr. Speaker, I need to inform you that the speech by the Honorable Harold E. Melton was not in the journal. It only said that the Honorable Harold E. Melton appeared upon the floor of the House and addressed the joint session. So I was anxious all night to read that speech.
But you were supposed to take notes.
I did. Should I deliver them to you?
You can present those to me later.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits read the proceedings of the previous legislative day and found them to be correct.
Chairman Hogan, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. Burns, on the 59th, moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 1031 by Representative Evans of the 83rd, Irwin of the 28th, McLaurin of the 51st, Williams of the 145th, Hitchens the 161st, and others. Will be titled an act to amend Code Section 46-225, the official code of Georgia annotated relating to procedure for changing any rate.
Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications.
House Bill 1032 by Representative Hatchett of the 150th and England of the 116th. Bill being titled an act to amend Code Section 31-7-3, the official code of Georgia annotated relating to requirements for permits.
Special Committee on Access to Quality Health Care.
House Bill 1033 by Representative Earhart of the 36th, Reeves of the 34th, and Olowitz of the 42nd, Wilkerson of the 38th, Carson of the 46th, and others. The bill being titled an act to amend an act creating the State Court of Cobb County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1034 by Representative Werkheiser, the 157th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 39 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating the regulation of employment of minors.
Industry and labor.
House Bill 1035 by Representative Martin of the 49th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1036 by Representative Tarvin of the 2nd, Setzler of the 35th, Harrell of the 106th, Welch of the 110th, and Efstration of the 104th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 16, Title 9 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Georgia Uniform Civil Forfeiture Procedures Act.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 1037 by Representative Dollar of the 45th, Stevens of the 164th, Silcox of the 52nd, Williams of the 168th, Fryer of the 118th. The bill being titled an act to amend Code Section 48.7, 40.26, the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Georgia Entertainment Industry Investment Act.
Creative Arts and Entertainment Working Group with recommendations to be forwarded to the Committee on Ways and Means.
House Bill 1038 by Representative Dreyer of the 59th, Silcox of the 52nd, Jones of the 25th, Parrish of the 142nd, Barr of the 103rd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 5 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to county boards and tax assessors.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1039 by Representative Watson of the 172nd, Rhodes of the 120th, LaHood of the 175th, Corbett of the 174th, and Burchett of the 176th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 12 of Title 13 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to automatic renewal of provisions.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 1040 by Representative Donahue of the 30th, Fleming of the 121st, Hawkins of the 27th, Gravely of the 67th, Lumsden of the 12th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Articles 6 of Chapter 8 of Title 42 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to agreements for probation services.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 1041 by Representative Mathiak of the 73rd, Cantrell of the 22nd, Bonner of the 72nd, and Williams of the 145th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 3 of Chapter 12 of Title 16, the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to sales or distribution of harmful materials to minors.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 1042 by Representative Ralston the 7th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the governing authority of Fannin County to levy an excise tax.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1043 by Representative Ralston the 7th. Bill being titled an act to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Fannin County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1044 by Representative Carson the 46th. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1045 by Representative Hogan of the 179th, Saints of the 180th, Williams of the 168th, Petrie of the 166th, Stevens of the 164th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 38.8, 8.3, the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to funding of services.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1046 by Representative Howard of the 124th, Williams of the 145th, Hughley of the 136th, Beverly of the 143rd, and Welch of the 110th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 8 of Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to petroleum products.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 1047 by Representative Hatchett of the 150th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 4, Chapter 12 of Title 53 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to reformation, modification, and division.
Judiciary.
House Bill 1048 by Representative Bazemore of the 63rd, Bruce of the 61st, Bodie of the 62nd, Jackson of the 64th, and Metz of the 55th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 35 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to home rule powers.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1049 by Representative Montmahan of the 17th, Parsons of the 44th, Hitchens of the 161st, Gullett of the 19th, Holmes of the 129th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Titles 38 and 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to military emergency management.
Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications.
House Bill 1050 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, Carson of the 46th, Hawkins of the 27th, Taylor of the 173rd, and Williams of the 148th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 38 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to Georgia Life and Health Insurance Guarantee Association.
Insurance.
House Bill 1051 by Representative Williams of the 148th. Bill be titled an act to provide a new charter for the town of Arabi.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1052 by Representative Parsons, the 44th. Harrell, the 106th. Blackman, the 146th. Bill being titled an act to amend Code Section 48.8.3 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to exemptions from sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1053 by Representative Malinsky, the 79th, Thomas, the 39th, Fleming, the 121st, Harrell, the 106th, Hitchens, the 161st, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 11, Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to offenses against public order.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 1054 by Representative Cooper, the 43rd, Silcox, the 52nd, and Martin of the 49th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 12 of Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the control of hazardous conditions.
Health and Human Services.
House Resolution 1281 by Representative Tanner the 9th, a resolution dedicating Thunder Road.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1282 by Representative Hutchinson of the 107th, Cooper the 43rd, Bonner the 72nd, Trammell the 132nd, Smiley the 135th, and others. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on evaluating, simplifying, and eliminating duplication of regulatory requirements.
Special Rules.
House Resolution 1283 by Representative Mathiak of the 73rd, Knight of the 130th, Bonner of the 72nd, Pullen of the 131st, and Singleton of the 71st. A resolution honoring the life of Dr. Randy Velamont and dedicating a road in his memory.
Transportation.
Senate Bill 399 by Senator Harbison of the 15th. Bill being titled an act to amend an act to create a Board of Elections and Registration for Macon County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 1013 by Representative Buckner of the 137th, Gardner of the 57th, Oliver of the 82nd, Williams of the 37th, Schofield of the 60th, and others. A bill relating to public assistance. House Bill 1014 by Representative Tankersley of the 160th, Dickey of the 140th, Nix of the 69th. A bill relating to downtown development authorities. House Bill 1015 by Representative Wiedauer of the 119th, Burns of the 159th, Smith of the 70th, Jones of the 25th, Corbett of the 174th, and others. A bill relating to the Georgia Carbon Sequestration Registry. House Bill 1016 by Representative Burchett of the 176th, a bill to amend an act reconstituting the Board of Education of Atkinson County. House Bill 1017 by Representative Laricchia of the 169th, Lott of the 122nd, Reeves of the 34th, Corbett of the 174th, Belton of the 112th, a bill relating to payment of indemnification for death or disability, procedure for making payments and appeal. House Bill 1018 by Representative Gamble of the 15th, Hitchens of the 161st, Williams of the 168th, Lumsden of the 12th, Belton of the 112th, a bill relating to special license plates. House Bill 1019 by Representative Bazemore of the 63rd, Bruce of the 61st, Bodie of the 62nd, Jackson of the 64th, Metz of the 55th, a bill to amend an act to incorporate the city of South Fulton in Fulton County. House Bill 1020 by Representative Gravely of the 67th, Powell of the 32nd, Tarvin of the 2nd, Barton of the 5th, Gullett of the 19th, and others, a bill relating to driver's licenses. House Bill 1021 by Representative Hitchens of the 161st, Burns of the 159th, Lumsden of the 12th, Channer of the 9th, Powell of the 32nd, and others, a bill relating to the Georgia Drivers Education Commission. House Bill 1022 by Representative Cooper of the 43rd, Stevens of the 164th, Pruitt of the 149th, Wilson of the 80th, a bill relating to dispossessory proceedings. House Bill 1023 by Representative Fryer of the 59th, Smith of the 41st, Gardner of the 57th, Clark of the 108th, Trammell of the 132nd, a bill relating to post-secondary education. House Bill 1024 by Representative Newton of the 123rd, Hatchett of the 150th, Jones of the 47th, Stevens of the 164th, Dickey of the 140th, and others. A bill relating to state health planning and development. House Bill 1025 by Representative Setzler of the 35th, Reeves of the 34th, Earhart of the 36th, Wilkerson of the 38th, Parsons of the 44th, and others. A bill to amend an act to reincorporate and provide a new charter for the city of Ackworth. House Bill 1026 by Representative Dickey of the 140th, Knight of the 130th, Jaspers of the 11th, Bentley of the 139th, a bill relating to selection of Reach Scholars. House Bill 1027 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Taylor of the 173rd, Fry of the 118th, Stevens of the 164th, Silcox of the 52nd, and others. A bill relating to regulation and licensure for pharmacy benefit managers. House Bill 1028 by Representative Bazemore of the 63rd, Bruce of the 61st, Bodie of the 62nd, Jackson of the 64th, Metz of the 55th, a bill to amend an act to incorporate the city of South Fulton and Fulton County. House Bill 1029 by Representative Mathis of the 144th, a bill to act to provide that future elections of the office of probate judge of Twiggs County shall be nonpartisan elections. House Bill 1030 by Representative Mathis of the 144th, a bill to provide that future elections of the office of chief judge of the magistrate court of Twiggs County shall be nonpartisan elections. House Resolution 1267 by Representative Bentley of the 139th, Dickey of the 140th, Kendrick of the 93rd, Stevenson of the 90th, Corbett of the 174th, and others. Resolution honoring the life and memory of Sheriff Van Peavy and dedicating an interchange in his memory. House Resolution 1268 by Representative Beasley Teague of the 65th, Bodie of the 62nd, Thomas of the 56th, Robichaud of the 48th, Howard of the 124th, and others. A resolution recognizing the Honorable Emma Darnell and dedicating an interchange in her memory. House Resolution 1269 by Representative Tanner of the 9th, Hitchens of the 161st, Irwin of the 28th, Benton of the 31st, Lumsden of the 12th, and others. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on Local Law Enforcement Retirement. House Resolution 1280 by Representative Dempsey of the 13th, Cooper of the 43rd, Gamble of the 15th, Dickerson of the 113th, Dickey of the 140th. Resolution creating the Joint Study Committee on Childhood Lead Exposure. Senate Bill 294 by Senator Black of the 8th, House Stetler of the 52nd, Jen of the 47th, Robertson of the 29th. A bill relating to eligible large retirement systems authorized to invest in certain alternative investments. Senate Bill 303 by Senator Watson of the 1st, Jones of the 25th, Butler of the 55th, Unterman of the 45th, Martin of the 9th, and others. A bill relating to insurance. Senate Bill 308 by Representative Kirkpatrick, Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Albers of the 56th, Robertson of the 29th, Harper of the 7th, Say of the 34th. A bill relating to abandoned vessels. Senate Bill 340 by Senator Beach of the 21st, Dozal of the 27th, Black of the 8th, Martin of the 9th, Brass of the 28th, and others. A bill relating to holidays and observances. Senate Bill 342 by Senator Jones of the 25th, Mullis of the 53rd, Gooch of the 51st, Kennedy of the 18th, Miller of the 49th. A bill relating to minimum requirements for local fire departments and general provisions relative to firefighter standards and training. Senate Bill 352 by Senator Burke of the 11th, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Watson of the 1st, Harper of the 7th, Martin of the 9th, and others. A bill relating to online provider directories. 3 second readers.
Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative Blackman, the 146th District Chairman on Committee on Governmental Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Governmental Affairs is under consideration the following bills of the House and the Senate. It has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 914, due pass by committee substitute. Senate Bill 134, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Blackman of the 146th District Chairman. Representative Dubnik of the 29th District Chairman on Committee on Juvenile Justice submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Juvenile Justice is out of consideration. The following bill of the House has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 913, due pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Dubnik of the 29th District Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
House will come to order. We are about to go on to morning orders. We are about to go to morning orders. Let the chair remind you that after today, the total time for morning orders drops from 20 minutes to 10 minutes. So, we're going to have probably some 15-second morning orders or less. Today, I'm limiting them to 1 minute. We've got a number of members that have signed up. 1 minute each, and the chair recognizes Representative Dale Washburn for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today I rise to recognize an initiative that was created by this body in order to support rural Georgia and to improve health care in rural Georgia. The Georgia Rural Health Innovation Center, which is at the Mercer School of Medicine in Macon, has been charged with confronting the complex issues we have with rural health care in Georgia. Through research, collaboration, and training, the Innovation Center serves as a critical resource for our rural communities, and with its continued effort, the center will be able to help our communities with issues like maternal mortality, mental and behavioral health, and community-based care. I want to recognize the center today and to thank the center for the work they're doing to improve the lives of rural Georgians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative LaHood for a morning order. We'll come back to him. Chair recognizes Chairman Ron Stevens for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today I want to recognize some superlatives here from Richmond Hill, Georgia. The mayor from Richmond Hill, the head of the National Honor Society folks, and they're standing up in the back here. Would you guys give them a warm welcome to our State House? Thank you for coming.
Chair recognizes Representative Jasmine Clark for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Each week in Black History Month, I have highlighted an African American leader and history maker in science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM. Today, I want to honor the life and legacy of Katherine Johnson. Katherine Johnson was an African American mathematician and physicist. As an employee of NASA, her remarkable mind and intellect were critical in calculating the orbital mechanics of the first U.S. crewed space flights. Her work was highlighted in the movie Hidden Figures. Katherine Johnson passed away on Monday at the age of 101. We honor her life and her legacy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Hatchett and Representative Mathis for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative Mathis and I are pleased to recognize today the Lawrence Youth Leadership Group from Dublin. They've been in existence for over 20 years, molding our future leaders. Colleagues, if you'll join with us in welcoming them to our house. Stand up.
Chair recognizes Representative Dewey McLean for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, could you all join me in welcoming the Georgia AFL-CIO? I have Charlie Fleming, the president, Yvonne Brooks, secretary-treasurer, James Williams, and all the members. These workers come from all over the state of Georgia, so please give them a nice warm welcome. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Beverly for a morning order. He waves. Chair recognizes Representative Caucus for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've got a group of very bright young people from Sly County here today. It's the AP Government and the AP US History. They're in the gallery and they're accompanied by their superintendent, Brian Hall, William Rooks, Rachel Calhoun, and the president of the student body, Sidney Granados. I would like for y'all to also know that Sly County is ranked number 6 in the state according to CCRPI, and it's the only school in the top 10 not in the metro area. So if you guys would give my folks from Sly County a hand, I'd appreciate it. Stand up over there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is that the group I spoke to down there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, guys.
Yes, sir.
Good
That
to
was
see you
that
again.
was the group you spoke to.
Chair recognizes Representative Bazemore for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Today is Small Business Owners Day, and I'm not sure if they made it over here, but if you could recognize them right now, that would be wonderful. And they are responsible for helping us to be the number one state to do business in. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the way.
Chair recognizes the Minority Leader of the House, Leader Trammell, and Representative Buckner for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to have the leadership of Meriwether County here, and they do such a great job. They send leaders up here. They're right over here in the gallery, and we would ask you to please welcome them to their state house.
Chair recognizes Representative Nelson for a morning order.
Good morning, colleagues, and thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the floor with us today, we have a special guest, Dr. Marquez Hall from the Richmond County Cyber Academy of Excellence, and we also have some of the great students that will be serving as pages today. Thank you so much.
Chair recognizes Representative Evans for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Last year I shared with you that my church prays aloud the names of the victims of gun violence in Georgia every month. I'm asking you that you join me today in prayer. God who remembers, may we not forget our neighbors who have died by gun violence. Look with compassion upon the sorrows of all who have been afflicted. As a reminder of the sacredness of every life, we pray aloud 12 of the 54 names of Georgians who died from gun violence in the past month. Javante Jackson, 26, Jared Wells, 31, Ezekiel McNair, 36, Ty Lang, 55, Meekna Lang, 47, Giovanni Segura, 23, Damon Vickers, 31, Felix Cosme Jr., 63, Xavier Turner, 44, David Moore, 32, Chance Kelly, 19. As these names linger in our hearts, give us the courage to believe that violence is neither necessary nor inevitable. Empower us with the gift of faithful words and witness until the great day when your peace reigns in every neighborhood and nation. Amen.
Chair recognizes Representative Noel Williams for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to recognize up in the right-hand side the Pulaski County future group leaders. We're glad to have you all today, and would you stand? Thank you all for being here.
Chair recognizes Representative Kennard for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As adoptive parents, my wife and I understand the powerful blessing that it is. Today in Georgia, there are 2,000 children in our foster care system awaiting permanent adoption. Let me introduce you to these handsome young men, Trevon, age 13, and Ricky, age 12. They're brothers who enjoy learning about history, spending time with their friends, listening to music, playing video games. They like sports like basketball. Trevon is a shy, well-mannered, and well-behaved teen who loves everything about school, especially learning about social studies. Ricky longs to be part of a permanent family and have a sense of belonging. He likes to collect baseball caps, and his favorite subject is math. Trevon and Ricky need a loving adoptive family who will provide them with the attention, support, encouragement, and nurturing environment they need to continue to thrive. Their family will also need to support their desire to maintain their relationship with their older brother, who has been planned for separately. Ladies and gentlemen of the house, Trevon and Ricky.
Chair wants to recognize in the gallery the Georgia Highway Contractors Association Young Leaders Group. If y'all would stand and let us honor you, please. Thank you very much. Chair recognizes Representative Mathiak for a morning order.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, it is truly a moment in history. I have the great pleasure of honoring a mighty Georgia African-American woman. My mentor, Henry County Commissioner Chairwoman June Wood. If you would stand, she's up in the gallery. There she is, yeah. Yay! Woohoo! Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. June's founder and CEO of the Virtuous Women Life Academy, which is helping for homeless working women. June earned her bachelor's degree in civil engineering from the University of Alabama and is part of the American Association of Black Women in Energy, American Society of Civil Engineering, and she and her husband Michael enjoy their 2 daughters and 5 grandchildren here in Georgia. And what a great leader Henry has in you, Miss June. Thank you so much for being here. We have a resolution that we want to take pictures with you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Katie Dempsey to introduce the Doctor of the Day.
Good morning. It's my privilege today to introduce Dr. Brad Bushnell. He's from a very special place in Georgia, Athens, but he calls Rome home. I'm actually doing this on behalf of Representative Mitchell Scoggins because Brad lives just barely in his district, but he is my great friend as well, and Mitchell had something that is keeping him away this morning. Dr. Bushnell, as I said, is from Athens. He received his undergraduate degree from Vanderbilt and his doctorate in medicine from the Medical College of Georgia in 2003. He performed his residency in orthopedic surgery at UNC Chapel Hill. He also pursued an MBA in business in 2014 from Auburn. He is currently the chairman of the Department of Orthopedics and Sports Medicine at the Harbin Clinic in Rome, Georgia, and serves as the lead team physician for our own Rome Braves. He is the assistant clinical professor of orthopedic surgery at MCG and on the board of directors locally for our Boys and Girls Club of Northwest Georgia, the Board of Trustees for Berry College, and is a Reserve Sheriff's Deputy and SWAT Medical Officer in Rome and Floyd County. He and his wife, Kimberly, have 2 wonderful children, Bo and Sarah Beth. He is not only a healer, I know all the knees and joints that he has repaired in Rome and around, but he is also a true public servant with a great heart. My friend, Brad Bushnell.
I want to thank you all for letting me be your doctor of the day today. I hope I see 0 of you downstairs. I recently got to be the chaperone for my son's middle school field trip to Washington, D.C. And as we were getting up there near the Capitol, one of the kids in the group asked, "What's the difference between this Capitol and the gold one that we have back home in Georgia?" And I said, "Well, back home we actually get things done." So thank you all for your service. Yeah, we'll clap for that one. Thank you for being a model of while we all disagree on things sometimes, for getting it done and for showing our kids that this is how government's supposed to work. Thank you for this honor, and y'all have a great day. Thanks, Dave. That'll be good.
House will remain at order. House will remain at order. We are about to recognize some very special and distinguished guests. The clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 915.
House Resolution 915 by Representatives Dickerson of the 113th, Welch of the 110th, Belton of the 112th, and Rutledge of the 109th. A resolution honoring the life and memory of Almond Turner, and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes Representative Dickerson for an invite resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. His Lord said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Can you put the picture up? He was first a man of God. I'm honoring the life of and legacy of Almond Turner, a lifelong resident of Covington, Georgia. He will always be remembered as chief. He was first a man of God, husband, father, brother, deacon, school board member for 24 years, community band leader. He served in the Covington Police Force for 45 years, as well as being the longest employee of the city of Covington. He was Assistant Chief of Police for the Covington Police Department from 1997 to 2016 when he retired. After his retirement, he served as a reserve deputy and then elevated to deputy for the Newton County Sheriff's Office. His accolades are many in law enforcement: FBI National Academy, SWAT team, Columbus State University Command, just to name a few. I would like to welcome those who came out for this invite resolution, his church members who are in the gallery. Springfield Baptist Church in Conyers, led by Dr. Reverend Eric Lee. Covington Police Chief Stacy Cotton and his staff who are in the gallery. Sheriff Ezell Brown of the Newton County Sheriff's Office and his staff in the gallery. Mayor Horton of Covington and others. At this time, I would like for you to hear from his son, Pastor Dwayne Turner. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, Representative Dickerson, to say that this is an honor would be a gross understatement of how our family feels. We thank you, we appreciate you honoring my father. Our life has been changed forever. Nothing will ever be the same, but however, something changed for the good, and that is our family's vision. You see, we just saw him as dad or loving husband. But Alvin Turner saw something different. He dedicated his life to law enforcement, to the school board, to the community in which he lived. Now our vision has grown with his vision, and we see what he sees. It is our lifelong mission now, through the newly formed Alvin James Turner Foundation, to continue to work in the community, to continue to work in schools, to help our teachers and our students and the community which he lives in. So we thank you this day for this honor, and he will never be forgotten.
On behalf of the Newton County delegation in this House of Representatives, we would now like to present this resolution to you, honoring your father, and also Representative Andy Welch is also giving you a flag of the state of Georgia in his memory. Thank you, and thank you for this time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 986.
House Resolution 986 by Representative Stovall, the 74th, Bernal, the 77th, Prince of the 127th, Jones, the 53rd, and Scott of the 76th. A resolution commending the Yoruba tribe and recognizing February 6, 2020 as Yoruba Day at the state capitol and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes Representative Stovall for an invite resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, fellow House members. In celebration of Black History Month, it is an honor for us to recognize today the Yoruba tribe of Africa. The Yoruba tribe is one of the largest and oldest African ethnic group in Nigeria. Their population is 45 million people worldwide. They also live in the Republic of Benin, Northern Togo, and Europe. Due to the transatlantic slave trade, many Yorubas were enslaved in parts of the USA, Cuba, Brazil, other Portuguese countries, and the Caribbean. Their artifacts, worship, singing, and electrifying dance only exemplifies its unique, rich culture and traditions. No matter where you meet a Yoruba, you know instantly they are proud of their heritage and culture, which was handed down from their ancestors. There is so much to say about the Yorubas, so to hear and see for yourself, you're invited to join us on Saturday, February 29th at the Riverdale Town Center. This event will harness unity and appreciation between the African diaspora, African Americans, while at the same time exposing Georgians to this tribe. I am joined today by Oba King Shola Akim Remesi of the Office of Oriadi of Georgia, Dr. Babs Onabanjo, Adaremi Samuel, Emmanuel Adeyemo, and Benjamin Falati. Members, will you help me to welcome the Yoruba tribe who are here with us in the gallery? Y'all please stand. Now we will hear remarks from the Oba.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ gbogbo ilé. Good morning, Speaker. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Representative Stover. What I wanted to say, she already said that. So I'd like to thank you all. And please do not forget to come on Saturday at the River Day Center. Thank you for having us today.
The chair has just gotten word from that Chairman Gerald Green's surgery has been completed very successfully. And yeah, we need some good news. And I think he's already planning to be back with us next week, but he's had a tough week so far. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. The clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 1201.
House Resolution 1201 by Representative Evans of the 83rd, Carter the 92nd, Henson of the 86th, Oliver the 82nd, Stevenson the 90th, and others. A resolution honoring Ed McBrayer for his 29 years of service at the Path Foundation and celebrating the 20-year anniversary of the DeKalb County Master Trail Plan and for other purposes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. I am so excited to be here with you today to honor my friend and one of my civic heroes, Ed McBrayer, Executive Director of the Path Foundation for 29 years, and also to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of DeKalb County's Master Plan for Multi-Use Trails. With us today, in addition to Ed, please help me welcome his husband of 4 years and partner of 26 years, Wendell York. Liana Levitan, DeKalb County CEO from 1993 to 2000. Gail Waldorf, DeKalb Commissioner from 1992 to 2006. Pete Pellegrini, who co-founded the Path Foundation with Ed. And Representative Vernon Jones, are you up here now? Because he was the CEO of DeKalb County from 2001 to 2008, and he was the one responsible for authorizing the green space bond package that funded the trails. We also want to acknowledge Kelly Jordan. Kelly, are you up in the gallery? Yes, thank you, because he helped. He co-founded the Arabia Mountain Alliance in DeKalb that worked with Ed and Path to build over 30 miles of trails. And we also want to acknowledge Jim Cox Kennedy, who raised critical private money to match public funds. He could not be with us today. So I want to honor all of them for their vision 20 years ago for our future, for taking the risk and approving this plan for trails that we all benefit from today. My connection with Ed was over 20 years ago. David and I loved to cycle and be outdoors with our kids, and the Silver Comet Trail was built, and we would load up our bikes on the back of the minivan and want to go out to the trail, and we loved that, but we were frustrated we couldn't bike in our own community. So when I heard about this master plan for trails, that's when I got involved as a citizen. It was my first citizen activist type thing, and we worked on a local trail, a local segment. That didn't work out, but we are here to celebrate the over 40 miles of trails in DeKalb and over 250 miles of trails throughout the great state of Georgia. So on your desks, you can see some of the different trails in Ed's bio. And I want to just read out loud a few lines of this resolution that talk about the power of trails. So whereas trails are used for walking, riding, skating, or rollerblading, they are on their way to a healthier lifestyle. Thousands of people use trails from dawn to dusk every day. When more people are outside and keeping eyes on neighborhoods, perpetrators are less likely to commit crimes. Also, property values next to trails are valued higher than nearby properties, as trails preserve open space and create cohesive neighborhoods. So it's absolutely appropriate that we should acknowledge the accomplishments of the Path Foundation and Ed McBrayer. And please help me congratulate Ed on this. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker and Representative Evans, thank you for this recognition. In 29 years at PATH, we've built over 290 miles of trails throughout the state. So St. Simon Trail to Sea Island, Carrollton Greenbelt, Noonan, LaGrange, we built them all over the state. And we couldn't have done it without lots of help, because my staff, who are all sitting up there, comprised of 3 full-time people and 3 part-time people. Could y'all all stand? Like Becky said, we are a nonprofit agency funded by the Woodruff Foundation, the James M. Cox Jr. Foundation, and a very generous philanthropic community throughout the state. So I'm just honored to be recognized. Ms. Levitan over here recognized the value of trails back when nobody else did. She actually helped me shovel the first shovel full of dirt in the first trail we ever built in DeKalb County. So it was 90 degrees, she tells me. I don't remember that part, but anyway, happy Thursday to everybody, and thank you for the recognition.
Clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 1096.
House Resolution 1096 by Representative Clark of the 108th, Hutchinson of the 107th, and Campbell of the 15th. A resolution recognizing and commending Laura Ross, the American School Counselor Association's 2020 School Counselor of the Year, and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes Representative Jasmine Clark for an invite resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. It is my honor and pleasure to have the opportunity to introduce Laura Ross. Laura Ross is a school counselor at Five Forks Middle School in Lawrenceville in Gwinnett County. Ms. Ross has dedicated her life's work and career toward building relationships with students and helping them realize their full potential. It is this work and dedication that has earned her the distinguished honor of being awarded the American School Counselor Association 2020 School Counselor of the Year, and that is National School Counselor of the Year. So out of all the states Georgia is representing. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to allow Ms. Ross to give you all a few words.
Good morning. Thank you, Representative Clark, for inviting me to speak today. Thank you, Speaker Ralston, Speaker Pro Tem Jones, Majority Leader Burns, Minority Leader Trammell, and the members of the Georgia House of Representatives. I thank you for allowing me to speak about my passion today of school counseling, and on behalf of Georgia school counselors, an added thank you for including us in the educator pay raises. My purpose as a school counselor is to connect with my students so I can connect them to their education. We oftentimes hear about the school to prison pipeline. Well, I began my counseling career in a men's correctional facility. What I learned from the men on my caseload about their lack of connection to school and their feeling as though they did not belong in school is what propelled me to become a school counselor. We are uniquely trained educators in a school building who are perfectly poised to help create these connections for our students. School counselors do this by creating proactive, student-focused, data-informed, comprehensive programs that support all students in their academic success, social emotional development, and their post-secondary exploration and readiness. We do not work in isolation, but with administrators, teachers, parapros, parents, community members, and district leaders to collaborate and consult for the well-being of our students. In order for school counselors to be effective and to do this work so that our positive impact can reach all students, we have to focus on improving two numbers. The first is the school counselor to student ratio. The American School Counselor Association recommends 250 students to one counselor. The Georgia School Counselor Association has asked for a ratio of 450 to 1. And while that number was approved, it is yet to be fully funded, leaving some of my fellow school counselors with caseloads as large as over 1,000 students to one counselor. The lower our caseload, the bigger that impact school counselors can make with their students. The second number is our use of time. School counselors need the ability to use our time to be school counselors, to apply our knowledge and skills to support our students. The American and Georgia School Counselor Association recommends spending 80% of our time either in direct or indirect service of our students, directly serving our students or indirectly serving those who support our students, consulting with teachers and parents and administrators. I believe the way that we get to improving these numbers is by having a more universal understanding of what school counselors do. One of the ways Georgia can grow that understanding is by updating the state board rule on school counselors to reflect the current role we fulfill in schools. This will allow more school counselors to have comprehensive programs that will increase the number of our work-ready graduates because our comprehensive school counseling framework perfectly aligns with the employability skills framework. Thank you for continuing to support school counselors in Georgia, which in turn supports the academic success, social emotional development, and post-secondary readiness of all our Georgia students.
We are going on now to the rules calendar. Going on to the rules calendar. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 838.
House Bill 838 by Representative Hitchens, the 161st and others, be titled an act to amend Code Section 24.5.10 and Article 8, Chapter 2, with Title 35 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to privileged communications between law enforcement officers and peer counselors. This bill having referred to the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security. That committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Chairman Hitchens to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today on behalf of House Bill 838. This year proverbial simple bill. It actually clears up some language that was in a bill that I passed about 3 years ago, which refers to the creation of the Office of Public Safety Officer Support. Legislative Council has notified us that about 4 places in this bill it talks about public safety officer support when it refers to individuals. The bill actually provided mental health services and support for law enforcement officers, firemen, EMTs, 911 operators, and correctional officers. So what they're saying is that we may disenfranchise the firemen, the EMTs, the 911 operators if we leave the word officer in there. So all this bill does is strike officer in 4 different places. I'd be glad to accept any questions, Mr. Speaker.
You do not have any questions.
I yield the will.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 838 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. If your machine didn't work, come down here and record your vote. On the passage of House Bill 838, the ayes are 147, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 846.
House Bill 846 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Herald of the 106th, Carson 46, and others, to be entitled an act to amend Title 48 of the Fiscal Code of Georgia, Ontario, relating to revenue and taxation, so as to provide that interest paid on refunds of overpayments of taxes and past due taxes shall be equal to the bank prime loan rate. This bill having referred to the Committee on Ways and Means. The committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Chairman Corbett to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I bring before you House Bill 846. House Bill 846 deals with the direct pay permit program. The purpose behind the direct pay permit program is to increase the accuracy in tax reporting by businesses that make substantial purchases of items whose taxability at the time of purchase is unknown. Basically, if an item is used in the manufacturing process, it is not taxable. But if it's used in a part of the plant, say shipping, it would be taxable. And the manufacturer is in the best position to determine the taxability of an item. And in doing so, allowing them to do this, we place a significant responsibility and accountability on that direct pay permit holder. We passed House Bill 93 in 2017, almost identical bill to House Bill 846, 167 to 0. We made just a few changes in that bill at the request of ACCG, GMA, and the manufacturers. And what we've done, we set the refund, interest, and assessment at prime instead of prime plus 3. A request of the department, we allow a political subdivision. They can elect to pay that refund paid in equal installments over and up to the equal amount of months as was covered by the claim. We also clarify that interest will not start accruing on that until the taxpayer files for a refund. And then the fourth thing we do is we codify this in code. Like I said, ACCG, GMA, the manufacturers, everybody is in support of this. This is a compromise they've all come up with. They're all in support of it, and I would ask for this House's favorable consideration of House Bill 846, legislation which will further enhance Georgia's reputation as a business-friendly state and encourages investment and job creation, and that accompanies that investment. I'd appreciate everybody's favorable consideration, and I will stand for any questions, Mr. Speaker.
You have some questions if you care to yield.
I will take a couple.
Chair recognizes Representative Bentley to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I do, to my friend.
Yes, sir. Is it not true that this bill will not affect the funeral industry? And is it also true that the funeral directors will be at the state capitol on tomorrow?
The lady knows of what she speaks.
And is it not further true that every member of this House is asked to wear black in honor of the funeral directors that will be here tomorrow?
And again, the lady knows of what she speaks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I think I'll yield the well and ask for everybody's favorable consideration. Thank you.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to withdrawing the committee substitute? Chair hears none. The committee substitute is withdrawn. Is there any objection to adopting the substitute offered by the Committee on Rules? The chair hears none. The Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 846 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of House Bill 846, the ayes are 148, the nays are 3. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 808. Just a minute.
House Bill 808 by Representative Montmahan of the 17th to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 5C of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to alternative ad valorem taxes on motor vehicles. This bill having referred to the Committee on Transportation. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Representative Montmahan to speak to the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, today I present to you House Bill 808. This bill addresses the additional time needed to repair vehicles due to increases in the amount of recalls, parts supply stocks, and a number of associated factors. This measure simply adds 15 additional days to the current 30 days, bringing the total to 45 days, without the owner being required to remit full TAVT tax. Mr. Speaker, I stand to take any questions.
Do you yield for questions?
I do.
Chair recognizes Representative Rick Williams to your left for a question.
Does the gentleman yield?
I do.
You won't park that in the Rules Chairman parking space, will you?
No, sir. No,
okay.
This one.
Just wanted to make sure.
I'm just glad it ain't parked in rules.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, if
You have no further questions.
I yield well.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 808 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of House Bill 808. The ayes are 150. The nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. For what purpose does Representative Wiedauer rise?
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to move that we...
What's your purpose in rising?
I would like to make a motion.
State your motion.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to move that we recommit House Bill 861 back to the Rules Committee, please.
Representative Wiedauer has moved that House Bill 861 be recommitted to the Rules Committee. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 861 by Representative Wiedauer, the 119th, and others be titled an Act to amend Chapter 1 and Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to identification and regulation of motor vehicles.
On the gentleman's motion that House Bill 861 be recommitted to the Rules Committee, is there objection? Is there objection? The chair hears none, and it is sent back to the Rules Committee. House Bill 378 will be postponed until the next legislative day. The clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions.
Congratulating and commending Eloise Scott Archibald for receiving the 2020 Yellow Rose Nikki T. Randall Service Leader Award. Recognizing and commending Miss Georgia Peach Scholarship Pageant and the 2019 Georgia Peach Queens. Recognizing February 28, 2020 as Black Male Educators Day at the State Capitol. Commending the Coosa High School girls volleyball team for winning the 2019 GHSA 2A State Volleyball Championship. Congratulating the Tryon High School boys wrestling team for winning the 2019-2020 Class A Boys Wrestling Duels State Championship. Recognizing and commending Boy Scout Troop 933 for 100 years of scouting in Vidalia, Georgia. Commending and congratulating Savannah Strajic. Recognizing February 25th, 2020 as After School Day at the State Capitol. Commending and congratulating Joseph Papoto. Recognizing and commending the 2019 Atlanta Braves and the team's award-winning players and manager. Honoring and commending Georgia's nationally recognized career, technical, and agricultural education program and the educators whose expertise prepare hundreds of thousands of Georgia students for college and the workforce each year, commending and congratulating Abby Littman, commending and congratulating Annie Hankammer, commending and congratulating Elise Fontanillis, commending and congratulating Lucy Morris, commending and congratulating Aaron Wright, commending Georgia's linemen and recognizing April 13, 2020 as Georgia Lineman Appreciation Day at the state capitol, congratulating the Tuna High School volleyball team for winning the 2019 GHSA Class 6A State Volleyball Championship, commending and congratulating Dipton Mehta upon receiving the 2020 Prudential Spirit of Community Award, commending the great achievements of Leadership Toccoa Stevens County Incorporated, and recognizing February 27, 2020 as Toccoa Stevens County Day at the state capitol, and for other purposes. That completes the reading of the privilege resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privilege resolutions? The chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. I know somewhere on the floor in the back, chair wants to recognize a former member of this body, former state representative John Wiles from Cobb County. We got just a little bit more business to go through. If you have page photographs, we're doing those up here. We're waiting to get some bills from the clerk's office. What purpose does Representative Todd Jones rise?
To make a motion.
State your motion.
I move that House Bill 542 be moved from the Committee on Human Relations and Aging to Special Committee on Access to Quality Health Care.
Representative Jones has moved that House Bill 542 be transferred from the Human Relations and Aging Committee to the Special Committee on Access to Quality Health Care. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 542 by Representative Jones, the 25th, and others to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 8 and Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the care and protection of indigent and elderly patients.
On the gentleman's motion that House Bill 542 be moved from the Human Relations and Aging Committee to the Special Committee on Access to Quality Health Care, is there objection? Is there objection? The chair hears none, and it is so ordered. Okay, if you have signed up for an announcement, be making your way to the front of the chamber. And while they're doing that, I'd like for the members of the House to join me in wishing happy birthday to a number of members. Happy birthday today to Representative Beth Moore. Representative Beth Moore. Happy birthday to Representative Matthew Gamble. Happy birthday to Representative Vance Smith. And last but certainly not least, happy birthday to the Minority Leader of the House, Leader Trammell. Okay, we're going on now to announcements. Chair recognizes the chairman of the House Rules Committee, Chairman Smith, for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope you House members listen up to what I have to say. If you have a bill that's on the consideration calendar and you do not come to the House Rules Committee meeting and ask for that bill, you might consider your bill dead. There were 2 bills on the House consideration calendar today that stood an awfully good chance of making it to the floor tomorrow. They're not going to be on the floor tomorrow. So if you've got a bill that's on this consideration calendar, and you can check and find out which ones they are, if you don't come ask for it, don't complain if I kill them. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Corbett for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Motor Vehicles Committee will meet at 8 a.m. in the morning, room 515. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Dollar for an announcement. I don't believe he's present. Chair recognizes Representative Reeves for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Reeves Subcommittee of Judiciary and Non-Civil will meet at 1 o'clock in room 515 in the CLOB today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Buckner for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just wanted to issue an invite for the Working Families Legislative Caucus lunch meeting today. The subject matter is the 2020 top health priority issues, and we always have great speakers, so come join us. It'll be room 307 in the Legislative Office Building today.
Chair recognizes Chairman Hitchens for an announcement.
The Transportation Subcommittee on the Ports and Local Government will meet this afternoon at 2 p.m. in 506 CLOB.
Chair recognizes Chairman Barr for an announcement.
Good morning, y'all. In keeping with natural resources, starting early tomorrow morning, Resource Management Subcommittee. Resource Management Subcommittee, Natural Resources, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, 6:06. Thank you, sir.
Chair recognizes Chairman Newton for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Committee on Access to Quality Health Care, all members got 2 meetings to tell you about. One today at 3 o'clock and 3:41, and then again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and 5:06. So 2 meetings. We'll see you at 3 o'clock today.
That completes our announcements. The chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 9:30 a.m. Friday, February the 28th, 2020.
The Majority Leader has moved that this House be adjourned until Friday, February 28th at 9:30 a.m. Those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it. This House will be adjourned until Friday, February 28th at 9:30 a.m.